Hello and welcome. I'm so glad you're here today. Whether you're joining me from Cyprus or from Houston or from somewhere else in the country, settle in. This is for you. My name is Dr. Navita KJ Johnson-Belcher, and before I share anything I've built, I want to give you something more important first. I want to give you protection. Because before I ever asked you to trust me or anything I've created, I wanted you to know how to protect yourself. That matters more to me than any course I could ever offer. So here's what we're going to do together in the next half hour. I'm going to teach you how to tell the difference between a real licensed mental health professional and someone who is only pretending to be one. Why understanding mental health professional licensing matters. Let me tell you why this matters so much. When you are hurting, when you're anxious, grieving, overwhelmed, you are not at your strongest. And that is exactly when the wrong person can do the most damage. A license is not just a piece of paper on the wall. It means a real human being completed years of training, passed national exams, and answers to a state board that can take their license away if they harm you. That is what a license protects. It protects you. So when someone has no license and no board watching over them, there is no one to hold them accountable. You will be handing your mental health to a person with no rules, no oversight, and nothing to lose. That's why we start here. Here's the hard truth. Right now online, there are people calling themselves therapists, counselors, even doctors, who are not licensed at all. Some are claiming credentials they never earned, and the people who get hurt are the ones who need help the most. The good news, you can learn to tell real from fake. Today you will. One important note before we go further. Today I'm focused on the state of Texas because that's where I'm licensed. If you're watching from another state, the types of professionals are the same everywhere, but the exact rules and the licensing boards are different. So I'll also show you how to check in your own state. So stay with me. Umbrella term, mental health professional. Let's start with the biggest misunderstanding. People use the words therapist, counselor, and shrink like they all mean the same thing. They don't. Mental health professional is an umbrella term. Underneath it are several different professions, different schooling, different training, and different things they are legally allowed to do. Here's the simplest dividing line to remember. Only some of these professionals can prescribe medication. That's the psychiatrist, a medical doctor, and the psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner, the PMHNP. Everyone else, the psychologist, the counselor, the social worker, the marriage and family therapist, they provide assessment and talk therapy. They do not prescribe. And one more thing that will help you for life. In Texas, 4 of these professions are licensed under one agency, the Behavioral Health Executive Council. We call it BATC. Physicians, like psychiatrists, are licensed separately by the Texas Medical Board. And one more, the chemical dependency counselor, is licensed by a third agency, the Texas Health and Human Services Commission, the HHSC. Knowing which board governs a person is your very first verification tool. Hold on to that. Key professional roles and functions. Before we go deep, let me give you the quick map. 5 professionals you'll meet most often. 1, the psychiatrist, a medical doctor who can prescribe medication. 2, the psychologist, a doctorate level expert in testing and therapy. 3, the licensed professional counselor, the LPC, a master's level therapist. That's my license. 4, the licensed clinical social worker, the LCSW, therapy plus connecting you to resources. And 5, the licensed marriage and family therapist, the LMFT, for relationships, couples, and family. Now let's slow down and really get to know each one. Okay, here's the detailed look, one professional at a time. I want you to know exactly who you be sitting across from when you go into these offices. The psychiatrist, doctor of medicine or doctor of osteopathic medicine. First, the psychiatrist. A psychiatrist is a medical doctor who specializes in mental health. Because they went to medical school, they can prescribe and manage medication. They can order labs. They treat the medical side of mental illness. Here's the road they walked: 4 years of college, then 4 years of medical school, earning an MD, a doctor of medicine, or a DO, a doctor of osteopathic medicine. Then a 4-year residency, specializing in psychiatry. And after that, they passed their medical licensing exams, the USMLE or the COMLEX, COMLEX, and they are licensed by the Texas Medical Board. Many also earn board certification. Add it all up, that's about 10 or more years of schooling and training. So what does a psychiatrist treat? The conditions where medication is often central: bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, severe depression, severe anxiety. Some do therapy too, but many focus on medication and partner with a therapist for the talk side. Next, the psychologist. A psychologist is a doctoral level expert in human behavior and the mind. Now, hear me clearly. In Texas, psychologists generally do not prescribe medication. Their specialty is different. It's assessment, testing, and therapy. Their road: a bachelor's degree, then a doctorate in psychology, a PhD, a doctor of philosophy, or a PsyD, a doctor of psychology. Then 3,500 hours of supervised experience. They pass a national exam called the EPPP, the Examination for Professional Practice in Psychology, and the Texas Jurisprudence Exam. What do they treat? This is the professional who does psychological testing. If you've ever heard of someone being tested for ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, for a learning difference, or for a complex diagnosis, that's often a psychologist. They also provide therapy for depression, anxiety, and trauma. Now, the master's level therapists. These are the professionals most people actually sit down with. First, the licensed professional counselor, the LPC, and I'll be honest, that is the license that I hold. A counselor earns a master's degree, at least 60 graduate hours in counseling, then they pass a national exam, the NCE, the National Counselor Examination, or the NCMHCE, the National Clinical Mental Health Counseling Examination, plus the Texas Jurisprudence Exam. But here's the part people don't realize. Before they can practice on their own, they must complete 3,000 hours of supervised experience, and at least 1,500 of those hours must be face-to-face with real clients. And if you went to a program like mine, you had to do an additional 1,000 hours for a CACREP accredited institution. So that's not a weekend certificate. That's years. What does a counselor treat? Anxiety, depression, grief, trauma, life transitions, relationship struggles. We provide talk therapy. We do not prescribe. Next, the licensed clinical social worker, the LCSW. A clinical social worker does therapy, just like a counselor, but they bring something extra, what we call a person in environment lens. They look at everything around you, your family, your housing, your access to care, and they connect you to resources and advocacy. Their role, a Master of Social Work, an MSW from an accredited program, then 3,000 hours of supervised clinical experience. Then they pass the clinical exam from the Association of Social Work Boards, the ASWB. What do they treat? The same wide range: anxiety, depression, trauma, family stress, plus they help you get connected to the practical support you need. They do not prescribe. So licensed social workers, they definitely also engage in case management. And then the licensed marriage and family therapist, the LMFT. This professional specializes in relationships. They treat you through the lens of your couple, your marriage, and your family. Their role, a master's degree in marriage and family therapy, then 3,000 supervised hours, at least 1,500 face-to-face, and at least 500 of those specifically with couples and families. Then they pass the National Marriage and Family Therapy Examination, administered by the Association of Marital and Family Therapy Regulatory Boards, the AMF-TRB, plus the Texas Jurisprudence Exam. What do they treat? Couples in conflict, marriage, parenting, divorce and blended families, and individual struggles. Understood inside your relationships. They do not prescribe. Now, two more you'll hear about in Texas. There's the LCDC, the Licensed Chemical Dependency Counselor, who specializes in substance use. That's actually one of my own credentials. And there's the Psychiatric Mental Health Nurse Practitioner, the PMHNP, who can prescribe medication. Know your acronyms. The degrees. MD or DO is your doctor. That's PhD or PsyD is your psychologist. MSW, Master of Social Work, is your social worker. And DMin, Doctor of Ministry, is a ministry degree. The licenses: LPC, LCSW, LMFT, and LCDC. Who can prescribe? Only the psychiatrist, the MD or DO, and the psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner. And here's the part to keep forever, where you verify. 3 state agencies: BHEC, the Behavioral Health Executive Council for counselors, social workers, therapists, and psychologists; the Texas Medical Board for physicians; and HHSC, the Texas Health and Human Services Commission for chemical dependency counselors. I'll spell out the websites in just a moment. Now here's the part I most want you to carry with you: how to verify anyone, the red flags to watch for, and the truth about coaches. This is how you protect yourself. Step 1, ask for their full legal name and their license number. A real professional will give you that freely. If someone gets nervous or dodges the question, that is a red flag. Step 2, look them up for free on the official state website. If they're a counselor, a social worker, a therapist, or a psychologist, go to bhec.texas.gov. Let me say that again, bhec.texas.gov. If they're a psychiatrist or any physician, go to tmb.state.tx.us. That's the Texas Medical Board. And if they're a chemical dependency counselor, an LCDC, go to hhs.texas.gov. That's Health and Human Services. And if you're watching from another state, just search your state plus Behavioral Health Licensing Board. Every state has one. Step 3, when you find them, check that the license is active, in good standing, with no disciplinary action. The website shows you all of that. Now let me give you the warning signs. You might want to write these down or take a picture of the screen. Red flag number 1, they call themselves a therapist or counselor, but they won't give you a license number. Red flag number 2, they call themselves a coach while acting like they do therapy. Coaching is not a licensed mental health practice. It is not the same thing. Red flag number 3, they never give you any paperwork, no consent form, no disclosure statement at the start. In Texas, a licensed professional is required to give you that. And red flag number 4, they pressure you to pay before you can check them out. Hear me. A real professional will always be findable on a state board. If you cannot verify them, do not hand them your trust and do not hand them your money. Coach versus licensed therapist. Now, I need to say a word about coaches because this is where a lot of people, good people, get confused. Let me be fair. A coach can be a real blessing for setting goals, building better habits, and staying accountable. I'm not here to put anyone down, but hear me clearly. A coach is not a licensed mental health professional. Anyone can call themselves a coach today with no degree, no license, and no state board watching over them. A coach cannot diagnose you. A coach cannot treat mental illness, and a coach cannot prescribe. So here's the line. If what you need is helping moving toward a goal, a coach may be a good fit. But if you are struggling with your mental health, with depression, with anxiety, with trauma, you need a licensed professional. Coaching is not a substitute for therapy. Where to find culturally competent care. Now, finding a professional who truly understands you matters, especially in our community. So let me give you some starting points for culturally competent care right here in Cypress and in Houston. I want to be clear, these are starting points, not a promise that one specific person is right for your specific needs. Always check their license yourself and have a quick first call, a consultation, to make sure they're the right fit and they're taking new clients. Right here in and around Cypress, you have Cypress Counseling and Wellness, Liberated Minds Texas, Equity Counseling, the Center for Mental Wealth, and Healing Rivers Counseling. In Houston, you have the Grief Recovery Center, Unloaded Therapy, and Kingdom Dwelling. And to search by who understands your culture and your faith, there are wonderful national directories. Therapy for Black Girls, Therapy for Black Men, BEAM, that's BEAM, the Black Emotional and Mental Health Collective, and Inclusive Therapists. And please hear this one. If you or someone you love is in crisis right now, you do not have to wait for an appointment. Call or text 988, the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, anytime, day or night. I always like to give the disclosure that they're not going to send the police over to your house and tie you up and take you to a psychiatric hospital and lock you up. No, 988 has therapists on call 24/7 to help talk you through whatever crisis you may be experiencing. So if you or someone you love need that, please provide that number, 988, and please use that number. Now, I taught you how to check a professional, so let me do exactly what I just told you to expect from everyone else. My name is Dr. Navita KJ Johnson-Belcher. I hold a Doctor of Ministry degree. I am a licensed professional counselor, an LPC, and you can verify that yourself at bhec.texas.gov. I am also a licensed chemical dependency counselor, an LCDC, and that one you verify at a different agency, hhs.texas.gov, Texas Health and Human Services. I'm a certified anger resolution therapist. I'm an ordained and licensed minister, and I'm a U.S. Air Force veteran. I have spent more than 16 years in the mental health field. I show you all of this for one reason, because that right there is exactly what you should expect from anyone you trust with your mental health, including me. So now you know how to protect yourself, and now you know who I am and where I'm licensed. With that being said, I have prepared a work for you guys. And this has been something that I've been working. I think God has been leading me toward this for the full 49 years of my life. But over the last 16 years, God has been narrowing me into what I believe He's purposed me and called me to do for the uplifting of His kingdom and to help with mental health. And over the last 3 years, while in my doctoral program, I explained that I had pieces when I went into the program, and the program helped me to put those pieces together. And so now, without further ado, I would like to introduce you to a video about the work. And so I pray that this encourages you, and I'll be back to talk to you more about it after the video plays. If you've ever sat in church with a friend, in a meeting, in a group of people, or in a class, on a Sunday morning, or any time at all, smiling on the outside, while inside you were drowning in grief, anxiety, or a pain you couldn't even name, this is for you. Hello, I'm Dr. Navita KJ Johnson-Belcher. For more than 16 years, I sat across from people of faith who were carrying wounds they didn't have language for. Grief, depression, trauma, anxiety, shame. And too often, the church told them to pray harder, and the clinical world told them to leave their faith at the door. Both messages were incomplete, and both left people more alone than when they started. So I built something different. Perseverance Academy is where the Word of God meets clinical mental health education. It's the first digital, trauma-informed, biblically based mental health education curriculum of its kind, born from my doctoral research and refined through years of personal experience, ministerial, and clinical practice. 6 biblical figures, 6 clinical journeys. Ruth, for safety, stability, and healing from grief. Job, for suffering, lament, and depression when faith and pain collide. The woman with the issue of blood for chronic illness, shame, and isolation. David for trauma, moral injury, and restoration. Peter for failure, identity, and the God who restores. And the man with the unclean spirit for serious mental illness, stigma, and the church's response. Each one a mirror, each one a doorway home. Inside Perseverance Academy, you won't find shame. You won't find a verse weaponized against your wound. You'll find scriptures studied with clinical depth. You'll find evidence-based tools, clinical modalities, and practices woven gently into stories you already know. And you'll find a guide who has walked in your shoes as a clinician, as a minister, as a woman of faith, and as a U.S. Air Force veteran who knows what it means to persevere. Because what you've carried deserves a soft place to land. Perseverance Academy was built trauma-informed from the very first page. You choose how you learn. Read the lessons at your own pace, listen to the narration in my voice, or let ambient music guide you through. Or you can choose a combination, reading with ambient music or listening to the narration with ambient music playing softly in the background. This combination helps steady and calm your nervous system so your mind can rest while your heart receives. You choose where you learn. You choose your safe space, your couch, your prayer closet, your kitchen table, your morning chair. You are in control here. You always have been. The doors of Perseverance Academy are now open. If you are tired in body and spirit, if your faith and your healing have felt like two separate rooms, I want to invite you in. Perseverance Academy is education, not therapy. And this learning experience is designed to equip you to take your healing journey further, including, when needed, by seeking the support of a licensed mental health professional. And if you lead a small group, a staff team, an organization, a college, a university, or a seminary, Perseverance Academy has something for you too. Whether you walk in alone or you bring others with you, there is room. Come learn, come heal, come persevere. Meet me and enter your healing journey by exploring courses at theperseveranceacademy.com. With love and faith, I'll see you inside. So, no. Okay, there we go. So I hope you guys enjoyed that brief video, but it was an introduction to Perseverance Academy. For people, and this is for anyone who's wanting to learn about mental health through the Word of God. I've chosen 6 well-known characters in the Bible that we know: Ruth, Job, the woman with the issue of blood, the man with the unclean spirit, Peter and David. And out of each one of those characters provide a course. I want you to have this training so badly that I've even allowed for afterpay for individual courses. And again, if you would like to purchase any of the courses for staff, or for any organization where you're working with people and you're wanting to know more about mental health, this is something, Perseverance Academy is where you want to go and find that information. Individuals, this is not just for groups or organizations. It was first created with individuals in mind because everyone needs to go on their own journey. And that's why it's designed that even if you have a team, this is designed for each team member to be able to obtain their own courses so that you can move through these courses at your own pace. You get to choose your safe space for learning. You get to choose whether that's on your couch, in your car, in your bathroom, in your bedroom. You get to choose. Each course, you have an opportunity to also turn on ambient music to play in the background. I have recorded 92 lessons where during those lessons in each course, if you don't want to read it, you can press play. I've also simplified the lessons as well to where it's not overwhelming. It's not going to overwhelm you. You probably can read through each course within a matter of a few minutes. And it's not a whole bunch of big words or jargon that you would not be able to understand. I've made it understandable for anyone from age 18, possibly even 17 and older. So you can take your individual journey, and if you want to take people along with you, you can do that as well. So again, please go over to the Perseverance Academy.com, all together, all one word, and explore the website, explore the courses, and begin your healing journey. Thank you guys for watching today. Have a blessed rest of your day and rest of your week. And please, let's go, let's learn, let's heal. See you soon.